Ancient Rome. How are you today, Ian?
Fantastic. In fact, today I feel even better than yesterday.
Today is always a great day on the Yesterday Show.
And now let's meet yesterday's correspondents for today.
Hello, I am the Yesterday Show military correspondent. Military training is all about precision, power, and discipline. Today we will be sharing with you some of the ancient ways of training for war.
Scientific innovations of the Romans revealed.
Talofen. Greeks, Romans, were they the same or were they different? You decide. Stay tuned for an in-your-face musical battle.
Singing, dancing, theater, all different types of entertainment inspired by the Romans and happening here.
Political correspondent here, Long Government. I'll share it all with you today on the Yesterday Show.
And now our investigative journalist.
Hello. Stay tuned for our fabulous founding fathers and their Roman inspiration. See you then.
Now, let's bring back our entertainment correspondent to kick off our show with the first scene.
Thanks, Trevor. Some experts believe that Broadway musical theater began in ancient Rome, so we will start our show with a song from one of Stephen Sondheim's musicals, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, Comedy Tonight!
I bid you welcome to Rome. We of the world of theater are here to worship the gods of comedy and tragedy. Tonight, we will have a comedy. Or maybe we will have a tragedy. Or perhaps even a history. I know. We'll start with a history. That is also a comedy. And it ends with a tragedy. Won't that be fun? Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone party tonight. Something appealing, something alarming, something for everyone party tonight. Nothing with kings, nothing with a crown. Bring on the love, the clown. Situations on going, nothing that just alive. Ready tomorrow, comedy tonight. Something expensive, something offensive, something for everyone in comedy tonight. Fashions and potions, constant commotions, something for everyone in comedy tonight. Nothing with kings, nothing with crowns. Bring on the lovers, liars and clowns. Old situations, complications, nothing pretentious or polite. Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight. Something compulsive, something repulsive, something for everyone in comedy tonight.
Something aesthetic,
Something balletic, something for everyone in comedy tonight. Nothing with gods, nothing with fate. Waiting affairs will just have to wait. Nothing that's formal, nothing that's normal. No recitations to recite. Of the curtain. I hear a tongue, shriller than all the music, cry, Caesar. Speak. Caesar's turn to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me.
Let me see his face. Fellow, come from the throng. What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me?
Why, man, he doth bestride the known world like a colossus, and we, petty men, walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in the stars, but in ourselves, for we are the underlings.
Antonius, Caesar, yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's a noble Roman and well given.
I do not know the man I should avoid. Do not spare Cassius. Come on my right hand for this year's death, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Caesar. I represent the Yesterday Show. May I ask you a question?
Certainly. What would you ask of me?
Are you worried about the Ides of March? Everyone heard the soothsayer say, beware the Ides of March.
Not at all. He's just a bit touched. In any case, I'm surrounded by the best, most trustworthy men of all Rome.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Julius Caesar is not worried about the Ides of March, and trust the men around him. We'll check back later to see how that works out for him. And now, back to the Yesterday Show event.
Very interesting. Will we witness a tragedy later on in our show? That remains to be seen. I just want to say that the American composer Stephen Sondheim is a great favorite of mine. Many of our viewers will recognize his music from Sweeney Todd and Into the Woods.
Playwrights, authors, philosophers, and composers from every era have been fascinated by the Roman Republic. In fact, the greatest playwright of them all, William Shakespeare, wrote several plays set in ancient Rome. And we just heard a scene from one of them, the great play, Julius Caesar.
Speaking of emperors, Mr. Lehner's Roman rappers would like to perform their original Emperor's Rap.
R to the O to the M-A-N. Roman emperors know how to play the wind. Some are brilliant, others are corrupt. Men making people fight lines in the Colosseum. R to the O to the M-A-N. Roman emperors know how to play the wind. Some are brilliant, others are corrupt. And the toughest one, I was just a penguin. Once upon a time, Rome was a republic. The people voted for the lead justice. And Julius Caesar came and busted the system. Now here comes his nephew to finish the mission.
Hi, I'm Augustus. I crushed this republic up into dust. It's finished, but I'll keep the Senate just as a formality. 'Cause in reality, no man can challenge me. I'm the first to be named dictator for life.
Does that make you the emperor?
Yeah, that's right. They named me a god after I became deceased.
You ushered 200 years of peace.
On the Pax Romana, it was an honor.
But you don't have a son.
I only had a daughter.
So who will be the next successor to the throne? This is the question of always messed up Rome. Plots for power cause paranoia. Where you think that everybody wants to destroy us. This had the emperors on pins and needles. Made them do things that were up so.
Like me, I'm Caligula, the first bad emperor. You will remember the crazy things I did, like the time that I tried to make my horse a senator. I like to execute people in particular, and I think that I'm a god.
Man, we're sick of ya. You're so evil, we have to get rid of ya. We need a new hero. Oh look, here comes the Emperor Nero.
Nope, not a hero, I'm an absolute zero. I killed my own mom and sang a song while I watched Rome burn down. I'm full of malice, cause in the ashes I built myself a big palace. You could call me callous, cause I'm cold and sadistic. I did things that were wicked and twisted.
That's it, we're done. We declare you an enemy. It's time to flee.
Next comes me.
Who are you?
I'm Vespasian. I started a new dynasty called the Flavian. I gave the people what they needed to appease them. I built the Colosseum, but I never got to see it.
Why not?
Because I died before it was completed. My son Titus finished the job and he succeeded.
Your grandson was evil though, but after him, the five good emperors of Rome came in. R to the O to the M-A-N. Roman emperors know how to play to win. Some are brilliant, others are corrupt, and the toughest one of us is just a penguin.
That's right, I'm the emperor, the toughest of all. I'm a penguin and I'm only 3 to 4 feet tall. I live in Antarctica and I'm having a ball. The coldest weather on the planet doesn't make me stop.
Excuse me, but can we please get back to the topic of the world emperor who was a philosopher?
Marcus Aurelius, you're so awesome.
Yeah, I know it, because my philosophy is stoic.
You're so heroic.
I fight battles all the time to keep the Germanic barbarians in line. But known for my wisdom, I even wrote a book. And I'm in the movie Gladiator, so you take a look.
R to the O to the M-A-N. Roman emperors know how to play to win. Some are brilliant, others are corrupted, man.
Making people fight lions in the Colosseum.
R to the O to the M-A-N. Roman emperors know how to play the win. Some are brilliant, others are corrupted, man. And the toughest one of us is just a penguin.
Now, let's welcome our entertainment correspondent back to our studios for more on Roman culture.
Thank you, Trevor. An interesting fact is that ancient Rome enthusiastically embraced the arts, ideas, and the culture, the civilizations that they conquered, rather than developing their own. Now, some beautiful dances that were popular in the ancient Roman times, performed by the lady dancers of Mr. Montana and Mr. Crockett's zero-period PE classes.
armies, we certainly do not think of dances, do we? On the other hand, consider the complex maneuvers of troops and drill teams, which are intricately choreographed in many ways. Now a dance that combines elements of the Samico and Pyrrhic war dances, all very popular during the First Roman Empire. Our most discerning viewers will recall the Pyrrhic war dance from the opening ceremonies of the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, Greece. Every era and nationality of military history includes some form of ceremony that displays the bravery and prowess of soldiers. Ancient Rome was no exception. The legions and gladiators had many routines and drills to help maintain their discipline and combat readiness.
We have just heard how Rome enthusiastically embraced the ideas, arts, and culture of other civilizations, rather than developing their own.
That's right, Ian. Some might say that they stole the ideas of other civilizations and made them their own. Or a nicer way might be to say that ancient Rome was a very successful, pluralistic society.
And now let's welcome our cultural correspondent Melody to tell us more.
Thank you. The Romans adapted and reshaped many aspects of the Greek culture, philosophy, and society, including their religious and political framework. They took the Greek gods, changed the names, added some Roman characteristics, and made them Roman gods. For example, Zeus became Jupiter, Poseidon became Neptune, Hades became Pluto, and Aphrodite became Venus. And literally all Roman plays were rewrites of the Greek tragedies and comedies. The Roman poet Horace said, "The captive Greece has taken her rude conqueror captive."
Are you ready?
It's time for me to take it into Greek life now. I'm gonna make it. I'm here with my crowd, free to have it and worship my deity. I'm at your into the army that watch the enemy through. It's not on the TV, but in the temple, now you're
we are calling Rome Forward. It's a fast and fun look at how ancient Rome touched our everyday lives, even today. I understand that 50% of the words in the English language come from Latin and ancient Rome. Is that right, Dirk?
Yes, and that is only one example. The Roman Empire has had a lasting effect on the world in ways that range from the mundane, scientific, military, and medical. construction techniques, city planning, shoes, cosmetics, weddings, postal system, and our calendar all owe their existence, in part, to the Romans.
That is also true in the realms of politics, law, and government. In fact, our founding fathers were fascinated by the real-life successes and failures and the philosophical writings that came from the Roman Republic. That is why our country is officially a republic and not a democracy, and now our Rome Forward reenactment teams.
Apparently, the first bound books in history were from ancient Rome. Before that, books were printed on clay tablets or on scrolls.
Hey Gloria, can you help me find that citation about Roman literacy?
Sure.
Hey, what are you doing? It is taking forever to find that Roman literacy citation on this scroll. Let me see if I can find it in the book.
Hey guys, why don't you just look it up on the internet? It sure would be a lot quicker. Here it is. Harris argues that social and technological conditions of the ancient world were such as to make mass literacy unthinkable. So basically, people didn't know how to read. And here's another fantastic fact. Before ancient Rome, there were no such thing as pivoted scissors or magnifying glasses.
Greetings and welcome to the Sephora makeup demonstration.
As you may know, makeup has been around for approximately 5,500 years, first used by the ancient Egyptians.
The ancient Romans adapted makeup not only for beauty enhancement, but also for important rituals.
Now, where's my makeup model? Oh, yes, looks like she can't make it today. Well, what do you have to do?
What? Not me. I'm allergic.
Well, don't look at me.
First, some lovely green eyeshadow made from the mineral malachite.
Then we'll apply some red lipstick making red clay ochre.
And voila!
Let me see that. Hey, that looks pretty nice. Maybe some blush.
What?
Go buy your own makeup.
Ancient Romans also invented socks and sandals to protect your feet while up north, conquering cold conditions.
Our poor legionnaire has bloody feet from having to walk on stones without anything to cover his feet.
Hey, I want those!
These are the latest Roman fashion. Yes, they're all the rage. Check them out.
And now, our lovely fashion model, Geraldine, will display the latest Roman sandals and socks, technology and fashion. Thank you, ladies. That's very beautiful, especially the stripes. Those are
Please help me!
Oh, isn't that lovely? Our fashion models are also very, very generous.
Greeks invented sports, but Romans created the idea of using teams with different colors. Unfortunately, all the team players fought to the death, while the Romans cheered them on.
Well, a teeny bit different than our pro sports teams, even though we do all like to watch them in those big arenas. I, on the other hand, like to stay at home on my couch, eating potato chips and pizza.
Welcome to the world of medicine. Today we will be learning more about the cesarean section, or C-section. Most people think that the C-section was named after Julius Caesar, or it is possible instead that Caesar was named after an ancestor delivered by C-section.
Unfortunately, the Romans operated without antiseptic or painkillers or anything
What?
Yeah, the operations always fatal to the patient. They all die.
No, you wouldn't.
Congratulations, you have a beautiful baby girl. Oops, looks like we lost another patient. Well, better luck next time.
That was a fascinating video about how our lives today are affected by events of yesterday. Now, back to our science correspondent.
As we have already heard, the Roman Empire has had an amazing ability to improve and incorporate upon the ideas and technologies of the civilizations they conquered. Our fantastic team of experts from Mr. Brooks' digital media class has put together a video on the incredible engineering and scientific accomplishments of the Romans.
Another aspect of Roman engineering is the Colosseum. People began to build in 70 AD and it was completed in 6 to 8 years and opened in 80 AD. The Colosseum is used for entertainment and fights. It is originally called the Flavian Amphitheater. They had gladiators fight others for food, life, and very rarely freedom. The Colosseum can hold about 50,000 spectators and has 80 entrances. And festivals as well as games would last up to 100 days in the Colosseum. Also, it is thought 500,000 people and 1 million animals died in people versus beast games in the Colosseum. And sometimes they filled the Colosseum with water and have had naval ship battles.
Another cool thing, or should I say things, that ancient Rome created are weapons that are still used today.
The gladius is better known today as a short sword. It's primarily used for close quarters combat. During a fight, soldiers linked their shields and made a wall of shields, and the other side would do the same. It would then turn into a shoving match, and once one side gave out, that's where the gladius came in.
The weapon that was a close second was the spear, which they had named pilum.
Okay, you're done. Get out of here. You're
Why? I'm suing!
I don't care. The weapon that was a close second was the spear, which they named pilum. It was a weapon mainly used for driving soldiers from long distances. On the other hand, there was the bow. Oh, no.
Hey,
not you!
On the other hand, there is the bow. It was a weapon that...
Hey, you're supposed to be here.
The prescription!
On the other hand, there is the bow. It was a weapon that in numbers launched arrows in storms. In moments, a rain of arrows could fall from the sky and would kill hundreds of enemy soldiers at a time.
You okay, bro?
You know, Trevor, I am particularly intrigued by the idea that the Roman Republic has something to do with the founding of our very own country. Our next segment, From Rome to America, delves deeper into the fascinating topic.
As previously mentioned, the United States owes many of its philosophies that created our system of government to the Roman Empire. And now we will bring back our reenactment team to bring to life these ideas to the concepts that formed our great country, often utilizing the exact words and writings of our founding fathers.
Much of our modern society has its roots in ancient Rome. We would like to focus on how Roman adaptation of Greek philosophies led much later to the European Enlightenment. And then, in combination with many legal and political practices adapted from Rome, it all resulted in the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, and U.S. Constitution.
You need to understand what is meant when we refer to the Enlightenment. During the scientific revolution, scholars in Europe began challenging long-held beliefs. They used logical thought to explain how the world worked. They believed reason knowledge, freedom, and happiness, thereby improving sight. This use of reason led to a time that is now called the Enlightenment.
Enlightenment thinkers used ideas from the ancient Greeks and Romans. Aristotle, for example, taught that people could use logic to discover new truths. The Romans took ideas from the Greeks and developed the philosophy of the natural law. Positing that certain rights and beliefs are inherent by a virtue of human nature. They applied these beliefs not just to the natural world, but also to the human world of society and government.
The foundations of American government lie squarely in the 17th and 18th century European Enlightenment. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, James Madison, and others took the brave steps of creating a government based on the Enlightenment values of liberty and equality. More than 200 years later, that government is still intact.
In 1776, the Continental Congress selected Thomas Jefferson of Virginia, John Adams of Massachusetts, Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, among others, to draft a Declaration of Independence.
Jefferson authored the first draft. The Revolutionary Treaty began with reverberating prose taken directly from the philosophies of natural law.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Our founding fathers were prolific readers of the classics and wrote extensively. They identified with the Romans in many ways, even taking pen names that were Roman, such as Cicero for John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, Cincinnatus for George Washington, and Julius Caesar for Alexander Hamilton.
Hello. We would like to speak with some of our floundering fathers. Silly me. I meant founding fathers. Gentlemen, would you consent to answering some questions about your philosophies? First, Mr. Jefferson, you wrote the first draft of the Declaration of Independence, which was intended to break with England. However, is it not true that many elements that went into the Declaration actually came from an English philosopher?
Yes, of course, this is true. The great British activist Thomas Paine had much to say. He also cautioned us to consider carefully. He wisely wrote, "The Romans were strongly possessed of the spirit of liberty, but not the principle, for at the time they were determined not to become slaves themselves. They employed their power to enslave the rest of mankind."
Mr. Franklin, you have something to add?
Of course. Paine also said, when we were playing for posterity, we ought to remember virtue is not hereditary. And as I have often pointed out, democracy is tools and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote.
Oh, silly goose. Thank you for that, Dr. Franklin. How important was your role in founding our country? The French finance minister, Jacques Turgot, claims that you snatched the lightning from the skies and the scepter from tyrants.
Well, the revolution was the work of many able and brave men, wherein it is a sufficient honor if I am allowed a small share.
Oh, sweet. That's very humble of you.
Well, as I once said, humility makes great men twice honorable.
Tell us something about your role in drafting the Declaration of Independence, my favorite.
Well, Mr. Jefferson here invited me to read a chapter of the Declaration. I made a few changes. For example, I did strike out the words sacred and undeniable and replace them with, we hold these truths to be self-evident.
What a monumental Just what you, Mr. Madison? You'll be pleased to know that the history books absolutely hail you as the father of the Constitution.
I'm honored to be so remembered by history. I believe strongly in the principles of a republic, by which I run a government in which the schemes of representation takes place, opening a different prospect and promising the cure for which we are seeking.
Mr. Adams, what about you?
I firmly believe that the Roman Constitution formed the noblest people and the greatest power that ever existed. Almost everything that is estimable in civil life has originated under such governments. A new country can be planted only by such a government. Isn't that right, Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, despite Rome's many failings, its appeal for its light and its pluralistic culture, its flexibility in policy, its balanced constitution, and its religious toleration. For me, Rome was the nurse of freedom and attained to the most height of human greatness. And yet, neither the genius nor the manners of Rome is suited to the age we live in.
Thank you, gentlemen. Before we close this interview, it is a well-known fact that you, Dr. Benjamin Franklin, were famous for your aphorisms and proverbs, as well as spending some of your free time flying kites in thunder and lightning storms. Anyway, would you please grace the assembly with a few pithy words of wisdom?
Oh, I couldn't, but perhaps you, gentlemen, remember something charming I may have once said. There are no gains without pains.
Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I'll learn.
There are three things extremely hard: steal a diamond and to know oneself.
Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing.
Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain. Most fools do.
The Constitution only gives people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself.
Nothing can be said to be certain except for death and taxes.
Oh, that just warms my heart. Thank you, all of you. Mr. Hamilton, the latest, greatest 21st century hip-hop musical on Broadway happens to be named Hamilton, after you. It celebrates the fact that you, a poor immigrant from the West Indies, born out of wedlock of mixed racial background, orphaned when you were but young, became a founding father of our nation, one of its great thinkers. Not to mention that your lovely face is on our modern $10 bill. Would you all of your friends kindly perform a selection from this fantastic modern musical?
Certainly.
I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey, yo, just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. I'm not throwing away my shot. I'ma get a scholarship to King's College. I probably shouldn't grab a dag, I'm amazing staunch. The problem is I got a lot of brains but no polish. I got a holler just to be heard with every word. I drop knowledge, I'm a diamond in the rough. A shiny piece of coal, trying to reach a goal. My power speech, unimpeachable. Only 19, but my mind is older. These New York seasons get cold. I shoulder every burden, every disadvantage. I learned to manage on how we're gonna branch. I walk through sheets, vanish. Planets, the balance, spark into a flame. But hey, it's getting dark, so let me spell the name. I'm the A-L-E-X-A-N-D-E-R. We are meant to be a colony that runs independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps sitting on us endlessly. Essentially, they tax us relentlessly. The King George is around and a spending spree. He ain't never gonna set his descendants free. So there'll be a revolution in the century. And to me. And don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. I will lay down my life if it sets us free. Eventually, you'll see my ascendancy. And I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. And I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. And I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. And I'm not throwing away my shot. Everybody sing! Rise up, when you're living on your knees, you rise.
When are these colonies gonna rise up? 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 Rise up! And I am not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Hey, I'm just like my country. I'm gonna scrub you in the rain. I'm not throwing away my shot. We're gonna rise up. Time to take a shot. We're gonna rise up. Time to take a shot. We're gonna rise up. Rise up. Time to take a shot. Rise up. Rise up. Time to take a shot. Rise up. Rise up. Time to take a shot. Rise up. Rise up. Yo, time to take a shot. Rise up. And I'm not throwing away my shot.
Isn't it fascinating to realize just how much our modern world has been formed by what has come before us, even from events 2,000 years ago and more? Fortunately, our political scene is not nearly as rough and tumble now as it was in Caesar's day. I think some people might beg to differ with you considering our current presidential campaigns. True. However, contrast it to the assassination of Julius Caesar 2,056 years ago in 40 BC. He was murdered through a conspiracy that involved as many as 60 prominent Romans, many of them very close to Caesar. His successor executed 300 senators and knights to avenge Caesar's death. Didn't Shakespeare write a play about the whole thing? Yes, it was based on the book, The Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans, written by the famous Roman historian Plutarch. Shakespeare was a very avid reader of history and was always looking for dramatic storylines to use in his plays.
Caesar, 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 Caesar.
The Ides of March are come. I, Caesar, let's not go.
Are we all ready? What is now a myth that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Oh, Caesar.
Hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus? Great Caesar, doth not Brutus build this field?
Speak! Hands for me!
Ugh.
Et tu, Brute? Then fall, Caesar.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets.
Some to the common pulpit. Cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement. People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar, that noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Caesar's my friend, faithful, and just to me. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beats, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it comes back to me.
Wow, just as Sula said, a comedy, a tragedy, and a history. Now I certainly will. Beware the Ides of March.
I gotta hint it to the creative talents behind this show. The reenactment of Caesar's death to The Evil That Men Do by Iron Maiden, only on the Yesterday Show.
That's right, Ian. History made new today on the Yesterday Show, where we make the old news new news.
Tune in next week for another blast from the past on the Yesterday Show.